So let's go ahead. We take a comfortable seat. I've been listening. Every day I come to the studio to practice, and every day for so many days, I mean, many days, there's been this little, I think it's a little downy woodpecker who's been just busy on the tree that's right outside the window here, just hammering away for the whole class. It's so interesting. So it's out there again today, just hammering away on that little tree out there, hopefully getting some good food. All right, well, let's go ahead. Find the support beneath you. And lengthen your spine up towards the sky. And you can notice the weight on your sit bones, where your sit bones connect to the support beneath you. And then go ahead and begin practicing either Ujjayi breathing or the Samavriti, the balanced inhale and exhale. Making your breath as smooth as you can. Smooth on the inhale, steady, smooth. And that transition, that pause at the top, and then that long, smooth exhale. And right now, we're going to do the 1-to-1 ratio on the length of the inhale. We're not suspending the breath. There's the pause that naturally exists. And then you're the same length exhale. When we take our seat and begin to drop your attention inside, begin to work with your breathing. You're being present for the inner body communication that's happening. And a little short reading this morning. When the mind and intellect developed, man asked, "Who am I? Who is it before me?" The search for a reality began, moving one step towards finding the answer to the question, "Who am I?" We brought consciousness from outside to inside. Wisdom turned the direction of the consciousness within, and we perceived our soul. The journey of the soul in the outer world was over, and the journey within had begun. One of the, we could say, benefits of the time that we've had now is that we do have an opportunity to take time to turn inward more. So we're taking this time as we practice together to be more present in our inner body. At the bottom of your next exhale, release any control on your breath. Bring your hands in front of your heart. And this week I've been really trying to remind you of how your body is really like there's a wave that goes through the body. It communicates through your whole system. So whether you're walking and as your heel strikes the ground, how that communication comes all the way up from the earth and all the way up through the body. And also when we chant, there's a vibration of sound that we are moving through the body. So I just encourage you to chant, to sing, and to notice where you feel that vibration of sound. And also just to know that the vibration of sound is moving through you. Moving through all the chakras from the base all the way up to the throat. We'll chant the sound of Om, sing Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Take a deep inhale. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. With your next exhale, you can bow your head towards your heart. Release your hands, lift your gaze. Wow, the sun is coming Sun is coming in. All right, so if it's all right with your ankles and knees, you're gonna take a seat in Virasana, hero's pose. If that isn't a great pose for you, then you can stay sitting cross-legged. For some of you, you need more than one block for this pose, where you bring a block between the ankles. Some of you need more than one block. But as you come back, if you take the hands right behind the knee, and take that flesh and take it down a little out to the side when you take your seat. So the knees are together and the heels are wide apart. If the ankles are bothering you, it's helpful to put a rolled up little washcloth under both front of the ankle. All right. So as you take your seat, can you notice, you want the perineum to be balanced. So the perineum is pointing, it's like straight towards the earth. So some of us might be a little over tilted forward. The pelvis might be tilted forward. Some of us might have our pelvis tilted a little back. So can you find a place where that is a little more balanced? Where is that for you? And then let's take the arms straight out to the side. So we inhale the arms wide. Let's exhale, bring them forward, clasp the hands. Inhale, draw the palms for you. Exhale, reach them away. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, we'll release the arms out to the sides, drawing the fingernails back, reaching out the heels of the hands. Your inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward, change the clasp. Inhale, draw the hands towards you, the elbows wide. The exhale, reach them away. Pinkies, thumbs. Inhale, lift your arms. And then exhale, release both arms. Great. We're going to take a twist. So you might have a second block or a blanket or something, and you can take it off to your right. And so let's inhale the arms halfway. As you exhale, you're turning towards your right. So your right hand comes behind you. Your left hand might find the outer right thigh. Can you drop back into that balanced inhale and exhale? And then we'll come back to center. And we're going to take this second side. So you might need to move your prop over there. And then we'll inhale the arms halfway again. As you exhale, you're turning towards the left. Left hand comes behind you to support you. Right hand across. So you might notice sometimes when you start to twist that above the pubic bone, where we said there was that upper ramus, the bone above the pubic bone. And you might feel like as you twist towards your left, that it's trying to go with you, that the right one's trying to come along. So just soften it back. When you soften that upper right bone, let it soften deep inside. You might notice how it helps the pelvis to stay more neutral, to not be getting dragged along with you, because our twist is really in the, it's above the navel. We're keeping the low back pretty neutral here. And then we're going to come back to center. All right. So let's come up off of that block or blocks or whatever. And then go ahead and come to all fours. And let's open up the back of your right knee. So you're going to take your right leg back with the toes tucked under. And can you reach all the way out your right leg? The outer leg as well. So it's like you reach out the inner and outer heel of the foot, balance, reaching. Then we're going to exhale, bring the right knee down. And inhale, take the left leg back. So as you reach your left leg back, again, you're reaching through both the inner and the outer heel. Can you drop back into your breathing? Is the breath balanced? And then let's match the right with the left. So now we're going to be in plank pose. Can you drop back into Ujjayi breathing or your balanced inhale and exhale in your plank pose? Base of the skull is lifted so that the base of the skull is in the same plane as the upper back. There's tone across the belly. The finger pads and knuckles are pressing down, or maybe you're on your forearms. And the inner thighs are toned. The inner thighs are strong. Great. And then we'll go ahead and touch the knees to the ground. And then can you either bring where you'll walk your hands forward, you'll either take puppy or you'll take the hips up and back to downward facing dog. Either one, puppy pose or downward dog pose. So the space below the two pubic bones, that lower part of the ramus, that is going back. On most of us, that's going to keep reaching between the inner thighs. You're going to release that back. Whether you're in puppy pose, yes, or downward dog pose, great. Great, that was a really good correction, Mary. I could see that on you. Yeah, your spine just got so much longer. Good. All right. And then let's walk your hands towards your feet. Hands up on your hips. And we're going to inhale and come up to standing. All right, we're going to set up for side ankle pose. So stepping the feet wide apart and having a block at the right outer shin or ankle, or maybe more than one block. When you're ready, let's inhale and take the arms out. And as you exhale, you're starting to bend the front knee. At the same time though, you're releasing the pubic bone ramus on the front leg away from the inner hip joint. As you come into side angle, you release that away from the hip joint. And even when you're in side angle, can you keep going? You go, okay, so the right inner thigh and the pelvis are moving away from each other. And when I do that, do you feel what happens to this side of your body that's up towards the sky? You feel that side of your body lengthen? Good. And I have a great view of you today, Mary from Yuba City. Go a little longer with your stance. Take your feet a little farther apart. Yeah, good. And then everybody, let's inhale and come up. Great. And then relax both arms. Let's take the second side. So we want the weight to be balanced in the hip joints, right? We don't want to put any extra weight on any part of the hip joint. We want the hip joint to be as spacious as possible. So you inhale and take the arms out. Exhale, as the front knee bends, start to take that left lower part of the pubic bone ramus away from the inner hip joint. Beautiful. Then the spine, keep going. The spine is turned towards the sky. You've got the left arm maybe is alongside your ear. And Lise, on your outer left knee, can you put your attention into the outer left knee, and how do you create some space at the outer left knee? How do you make space between the tibia and the femur on that front outer left knee? You might even feel like, oh, maybe it reaches all the way to your left greater trochanter from the outer left knee towards your left outer hip. And then we'll inhale and come up. Great. Very nice. Okay. So now we're gonna we're gonna go to warrior two, a rising warrior, a side angle pose again. But I'm hoping you're getting a sense of like, where is all this area? Can we take a strap for a moment? Do you have a belt or a strap? Let's just try to put some attention. And if you'll take your belt or strap, and you're gonna bring it, one side of your body, you're gonna bring one end so that you bring it up towards that outer pubic bone on the right leg, for example. And then the other hand is behind you. And so one is close to the pubic bone and one is kind of close to your sit bone. And you've got that strap and you feel the bone that the strap is along. Can you feel it? Yeah. So you get this sense of like, okay, so this is part of that territory. From my pubic bone, you know, I'm really close to my leg here, very, very close to my leg. And I feel that whole area of from the pubic bone to the sit bone. And I give a little lift on that inner edge of my strap to help me really get more awareness about the territory that I'm working on, okay? And that's why my hands are close to my body. If my hands are far away from my body, I can't connect to it. I have to have my hands really close to me so I can really lift up and feel that bone all the way around and through, all right? So then I'm gonna release that, sit my strap aside, go back to taking a wide stance. We'll turn the right foot out, left foot in. I'm gonna put a block at my outer right shin, or it's your outer right shin, I'm mirroring you. And we're gonna inhale, take the arms out. Exhale, warrior two. So in warrior two, the pelvis is pretty level, right? But still, I know that on the front leg, the lower adductors are reaching towards the knee, reaching out towards the inner knee. And we've been talking about how on the back leg, when I find my right heel, all that strength that comes from the right inner thigh. Let's relax the back arm, turn the front palm up, and with an inhale, rising warrior. Now, when I go to a rising warrior, I might feel a release that lower pubic ramus away from the front inner thigh. And then I'm going to inhale again. And as I exhale, I'm going to go to side angle. But when I do, I'm going to straighten my front leg a little so that I don't have all that weight on the hip joint. And it allows me to be able to release it away from the inner thigh. And then we'll inhale, come all the way back up. And straighten the front leg. Spin the feet, second side. Inhale the arms out when you're ready. Exhale, warrior two. Back to the breathing. Great, and then Mary, longer stance. Mary from California, longer, keep going. A little longer, Mary, so that the knee is over the ankle, not in front of your ankle. Good. Relax your back arm. Inhale, rising. Notice what happens in that rising warrior. So are you able to release that inner pubic bone area on the front leg so that it's not getting dragged with you? And side angle. You straighten the front knee slightly so that you're not having to try to move the pelvis with the hip joint being fully loaded. It's just harder. Beautiful. Oh, wow. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And that looks so lovely. Ellie's basking in the sun right now, I see. And then your next inhale, come back up. Release both arms. Make your feet parallel. Take your hands on your hips. Inhale, lift through the top of the breastbone. And exhale, bow forward. So feel as you bow forward, the area below the pubic bone, those bones moving back between the inner thighs. Hands can come to blocks or the floor. And that in the inner groin also, because sometimes people think of it more like the groin, it deepens into the body. In a wide-legged forward bend, it deepens inside of you. So you let that part, those bones that come off the pubic bone, come deeper inside you, away from your inner hip joint. And you might notice, because we've been talking about, in a wide-legged forward fold, when I tone from the inner knees all the way to the inner foot, I also might notice how that helps the space at the inner hip joint. The inner hip joint moves then away from that pubic bone. So we want more space right there. All right, and then we're going to take the hands and reach them out like downward dog arms. Can you go back to the balanced breath? And then let's hop the feet together. You're in Uttanasana. You can draw the hands back. Shift them up onto your hips. Inhale, come up. Exhale, hands, Anjali Mudra. All right, and then release both arms. And we're going to take a sun salutation. So just having your blocks available. And we're going to do at least 2 sun salutations. And then the second one we do, we're going to bring the back knee down. So if you need to have a blanket available nearby so that you can put that under the knee when we get to that point. I'm going to go sideways. All right, we come to standing. Hands in Anjali Mudra. Drop back into the presence of your breath and your connection to the earth. And then release your arms. Inhale, lift both arms. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, right foot back. If your hands are on blocks, have the blocks framing the front foot so they're not super far away. Your front knee is not past your front ankle. And you can lift the back heel up right now. Just for this time, we're going to lift the back heel. Yeah. Because when I pick up my back heel and I bring my attention to the front of my right hip, and I'm really strong through my right leg, right inner thigh is toned right above the right knee. So really strengthen the back leg. Back knee is straight. And when you're ready, we're going to come upright. So your inhale. Arms out wide. You might leave them wide, or you might lift the arms. Lift your heart. Inhale the arms back wide. Exhale, we're going to bow forward. Inhale, step the right foot forward. Exhale, step the left foot back. So even as I lift my back heel, so the weight is more up on the ball of my back foot, my left leg is straight. My back leg is really strong. I am strongly reaching out the left inner thigh. A lot of strength there. Yeah. When you're ready, you'll come upright. Maybe the arms lift. The gaze. Reaching. Inhale the arms out. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, step forward. And exhale, fold forward. Inhale halfway. And exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, hands in front of the heart. Inhale, upward hands. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, downward facing dog. So again, here you are in downward dog. You're strongly reaching to the hands. Let's inhale, lift the right leg. Well, actually, before you pick up your right leg, let's slide your blanket under you. So between your toes and your knees. Then let's inhale and take the right leg up. And exhale, bring the right foot forward. And your next exhale, bring your left knee down. Grab your blocks, pull them back, make them tall. So on the front leg, so remember how tall that pubic bone is. So I'm releasing that lower part below the pubic bone away from the front thigh, away from the front inner hip. Lift through the top of the breastbone. And then we'll exhale, press down into the hands. And let's step back and take downward dog again. And you might notice, even as you strongly reach, from the shoulder blades to the upper arms, all the way into the finger pads and knuckles, the rib cage toward the pelvis, and the pelvis releasing back. So can you really feel like as you reach your pelvis back and you let the upper, above the pubic bone, that softens and deepens into your body. And you're releasing that lower part of the pubic bone away. Great. Yep. Yep. And you might even walk your feet back a little farther away from your hands. Take them back. And your feet a little closer together, maybe. Yeah, thank you. Great. Beautiful. Good. Then we're going to inhale from the left inner thigh, lift the left leg. And then exhale, step the left foot forward. Bring the back knee down. So when the back knee's down, and then I'm going to grab my blocks. And I'm going to bring them back. So I have some height. If I don't have any blocks, I will take my hands to the top of my knee. But I like to have something. Yeah. So on the front leg, can you soften that space between the inner thigh, your inner left thigh, and the pubic bone? Can those move away from each other? Yep. Great. Then I'm lifting the top of the breastbone. Taking another deep inhale. And then as you exhale, if you have your hands on blocks, press into those till you move your pelvis back. And then you're going to step back again to downward facing dog. You can also take puppy. If you're in downward dog, you're going to move your blanket out of the way. And then we're all going to come to plank pose. So whether you're in puppy or you were in downward dog, come to plank. And exhale. Let's go forward onto the toes. So really feeling the wrapping of the transversus abdominis. Exhale back into your heels. Lightly touch the knees to the ground. And bring your chest down. You come all the way to the ground. And you might rest your forehead or your chin. With your next inhale, cobra pose. And your exhale, lower. Inhale. Let's stay here. Let's rest the forehead or the chin. And 2 more times, we're going to come to cobra pose. So with your next inhale, cobra. Your exhale, you lower. The forehead might touch. The inhale, cobra. The exhale, lower. The inhale, all fours. Plank and downward facing dog or puppy. Inhaling deeply. And exhale, let's walk your hands towards your feet. Bowing deeply, Uttanasana. Inhale all the way up. And exhale, hands back in front of the heart. And relax your arms. But can you keep your attention dropping in for a moment? Even as you stand with the arms dangling at your side. And take one more balanced inhale and exhale. Balance the inhale with your exhale. All right, great. And then releasing that. Okay, here's a choice you get to make. Sometimes we like making choices and sometimes we don't. But right now you're gonna get to make one. And it's gonna be, I'll show you what I'm thinking, because you're gonna choose either taking triangle, 2 half moon, you know, or just picking one of those poses. So for example, I'm gonna move that one block out of the way so maybe you can see better. And I'm gonna have my other block. It's gonna start out at, this is my right outer shin. I know when I go to triangle, I'm gonna have to take my block with me because it needs to go out in front, right? So just watching for a second and then you have an idea what you wanna do. All right, so here I go for triangle. So I'm letting this deepen right in my inner thigh there. I'm letting that space become deep so that the inner hip joint, my weight is balanced in my hips, but it's moving away from. And then I'm turning, so I get to enjoy. And then you can be there for a few breaths. Baby step, block. Now we know on the standing leg that I have to be strong with the inner thigh. And also strong with the lifted leg. So you can be there for a few breaths. And then we're going to step down. We won't go back to triangle. We'll just lower that foot like we do sometimes to come back to Tadasana. Do you want to try that? So you could do either. You could say, wow, I'm going to try those both. Or you could say, I'm going to be happy with just doing triangle. Or you could say, I'm going to be happy with half moon. Can you make that choice? There's no right or wrong, and you don't even get any more points, no matter what you choose. All right? But go ahead and take a stance. And I'm going to guide you through the triangle to half moon in case that's the way you're going. Only I'm going to do my other side. All right, so let's see. Should we have your right foot forward? Whichever side, that way I can at least talk you through that with the right foot forward. Okay. Inhale the arms out. And the exhale. So as you exhale for triangle, already the pelvis, can you take it, see you're going away from the inner hip joint? The pelvis is pointing towards the back leg. And then the rib cage turns to the left. Notice the weight in the front foot so that the weight is not all in the outer heel. It's balanced through the front foot because that means that you're more balanced through your hip joint. We'll inhale deeply, and if you can stay here, or if you're transitioning to half moon, we'll release the top arm, bend the front knee, take a little baby step in and move your block forward. And then up goes the back leg, strong on the front leg. Strong front leg, inner thigh is really hugging towards the inseam. Lifted leg, strongly reaching through the ball of the lifted foot. Turning. Inhaling deeply. And then as you exhale, bend the front knee and come up to standing. So before you go to the second side, on triangle pose on the front leg, you're lengthening that inner thigh. It's getting really long. But in half moon pose, the inner thigh is all, you really want to tone it all the way to the inseam for this standing. It's the only standing leg, right? So second side. Diego's like, yeah. Gotcha. All right, ready? Inhale the arms out. And the exhale to a triangle. You might take the hand on the hip, it's up to you, but down you go, and the spine is long. Is the weight balanced in the front foot? Did you release your left pubic bone? Did you let that whole ramus come deep inside your body so it's releasing away from your inner hip? And the arm might be up towards the sky. And you're breathing. Good work, breathing deeply. And then if you want to transition, we're going to lower the top arm. Stay connected to your breath. You make a little bend in the front knee. Take a little baby step, shift your block forward, and then straighten that front leg. and tone all the way to the inseam of the standing leg. And reach out the top leg. Reach out the ball of the lifted leg. Strong, strong. Then you'll make a slight bend to the front knee. Take your hand away from the block and come up to Tadasana. Or as a ta-da, mountain pose. And you take this opportunity and then relax your arms to just notice how your body is being communicated to right now. What you notice. How does this energy kind of pulsate through you? So much happening that we don't even, we can't even name a fraction of all the things that are happening inside your body right now. All right, let's take, we're gonna come down to the ground. And you're gonna come down to the ground and you might want a blanket to sit upon because we're gonna take Upavista to start. You'll take your legs wide apart. So some of you might need more than one blanket. So Al, I'm so happy to see you here today. And I know that you probably will sit on more than one blanket, right? Or a blanket and a pillow, or get the pelvis up high so that when you take your legs wide apart. And we're gonna take the revolved Pavrita Upavista Konasana. So what does that look like? When you're gonna go to your right side first, it'll be my left, so that maybe it helps if I mirror you. So first I'm gonna take my left hand to the inner, it'll be your right hand to your inner right knee. And then you start to walk that hand out a little. And as you do, you're releasing that the upper part of the ramus above the pubic bone comes deep into the body. And the lower part is moving away from your right foot. So you're moving that lower ramus away from your foot that's extended out there. You might take your left arm, reach it up to the sky. Some of you might reach it all the way overhead. So your opposite sitting bone is not grounded, okay? It's light and lifted. The sit bone on the right is going away from my foot as well. All righty, let's inhale, come up. Release, we haven't done that in a long time, right? Or have you been doing that in your practice? Upavista, revolved, Upavista. All right, so now left hand. Left hand's gonna come out towards the inside of the left leg. And as I walk it out there, as I turn myself that way, below my pubic bone, I'm letting that deepen inside my body. And I'm also allowing it to move away from my outstretched leg, the foot. The other arm might come up. You could reach it straight up. You could reach it maybe overhead. Yeah, it really makes a difference when I move right above my sit bone, between my sit bone and my pubic bone. When I take that away from my heel on that side. And then we'll inhale and come up. And take your hands under your knees, pick the knees back up, and take the legs straight out in front of you, Dandasana. You can take your hands behind you just to help support you in sitting tall. All right, and then we're gonna let that go. And now you're gonna take, pick up your right knee and bring your right foot to the inner knee of the left leg. And you might need a pillow or something to shore up some of that space that's between your knee and the ground. If that knee doesn't come down to the ground, then put a blanket or something there. You're gonna want your strap. Do you have your strap? Sorry, I should have mentioned it. I actually like to have a little loop in my strap so that I can lasso the straight leg foot. Okay, then this strap goes from the straight leg foot to the bent knee hip side. And then you're gonna take your left arm and reach it all the way around behind you to grab onto your strap. And then your right arm is gonna reach your strap. You can come a little forward if your pelvis, if your legs let you, but you're twisting towards the left, towards the straight leg. Some of you might be able to reach the foot. Some of you will just be holding onto the strap. And then we'll release. You can take the strap off that foot. And we'll take the other side. So you bend your left knee, bring the left foot so that the ball of the foot is below the knee and the heel of the foot is above the knee. And then any space between my knee and the ground, I'm gonna put a blanket there or a block or whatever. And then I'm gonna put the strap around my straight leg foot. The tail's coming around the bent side of my hip, and then your right arm, thumb down, reaches all the way around behind you to grab onto your strap. Yeah. Yep, great. So you've got, let's see. Okay, I think that's right. So I was just looking, I couldn't tell these, but you have your strap going around your bent knee side, right? Your strap that's coming around the bent, okay. And then you're gonna take your left hand, grab onto your strap, and you're turning towards your straight leg. Breathing. And then we're going to release that. You can take the strap off the foot. Take both legs out straight. Give a little love to your knees. And even as I look down at my legs, I know that on my outer knees, that those parts of my knees, I hold a little tension in there. And that in reality, when I look at it, I can even see it in my tights. I can see that the outer knees this distance is slightly shorter than my inner knees. So check yours out, because it's giving you information, and this information could be helpful down the road with some of the other yoga stuff we're gonna do. And if we get to do that time, Lise, when I get back, that's the area we're gonna talk about. Okay, so now you're gonna come down onto your back to take Happy Baby. And you might have your your blankets in a place that you might like to use for dead bug. But you're gonna lie back, bring the knees up, and either grab on to the backs of the thighs, to the shins, or to the outer feet. Top of the sacrum is on the ground. As you take this Happy Baby or dead bug pose. And then let's bring the soles of the feet toward each other and shift the hands to the shins. The forearms are on the inner knees. And I'm just gonna hold on to my shins. And I'm gonna take my forearms and just have them at the inner knee. So I'm in a reclined Baddha Konasana. Sacrum is on the ground. I'm going to think a little bit about that space at the outer knee and see if I can create a little more space at my outer knees. That means that, well, I won't even go into it yet, but just how would you do that? Let's just ask that question. And then you're going to bring your knees toward each other and hug the knees in. Inhale the knees away. And exhale, hug them in. And then we're going to come down to Shavasana, resting. After we take Shavasana, I'm going to bring you up and we're going to do a little pranayama. And then slowly allow your breath to deepen. And begin to awaken the body to movement. Mindfully roll onto one side. And use the support of your arms to come up and take a comfortable seat. Once you have taken a comfortable seat, it could be on blocks or blankets or in a chair, whatever is comfortable. I'd like to have you drop back into your Ujjayi breathing. Or if Ujjayi is too confusing, just do the balanced breath. If you're practicing Ujjayi, you have you have your tongue behind your upper two teeth, the tip of the tongue behind the upper two teeth, and a hollowness at the back of your throat. So you begin with the 1-to-1 ratio of the inhale to the exhale. And then I want to invite you to practice 1-to-1-to-1-to-1. So that means that the inhale will be, for example, 6. You'll suspend the breath for 6. You'll exhale for 6. Suspend the exhale for 6. And you'll keep going. Whatever number is the right number for you. And at the bottom of your next exhale, you can let go of any control on your breath. And bring your hands together in front of your heart. Namaste. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for being here, for practicing, for exploring the different parts of yourself. I hope you're well and that you stay well. And I'll be teaching again on Monday. I won't be here teaching. I don't know where I'll be teaching, but I'll be teaching. That's the plan on Monday. So I will see you then, I hope. I'm going to come up and stop this recording. And